How did CS happen to you? Or did did CS choose you or you chose CS? How did that all happen?
I come from a very traditional business family. So sales has been kind of in our genes, right? Like all we have done is sales all our lives. I think sometimes selling is not about showing product, it's about showing value. Learned over the time is CS is not a function, right? It's a philosophy. Where I got troubled was listening to customers in theory and listening to them in practice requires a lot of patience. Right? I need to understand what and why am I important to you that you're investing in me, right? I need to understand your goals and how do I fit in your goals. Then it becomes very easy to prove value. If a customer is quiet after raising an issue, you have to be careful about it, right? If a customer is absolutely radio silent after raising an issue and you're giving them a solution, there is something wrong over there. If a customer is constantly asking you to do something again and again,
Okay.
we are fixing it, it's broken again, there is something wrong. I would try. I always suck at them, but it's just one of those things like the game of what's it called, Tambola. I suck at it. I never win, but I still love playing it for some reason. I don't know. I mean, haven't we already seen AI in CS? It's not now. It's been there for a very long time. Kind of disagree that it's gonna take away jobs. It's just gonna take away what?
Hello, hi Harsh. Welcome to podcast with Varu.
Thanks, Varu, for having me over. Excited to kind of have a chat with you.
Yeah, I am super excited to be very honest. Like we were discussing even before our conversation now, is that it feels like I'm talking to my college senior. One reason because when I was working, when we were working at Sprinklr, I keep hearing about Harsh, and I was like, who is Harsh? I really want to meet this person because Richie used to talk about you. Vijay used to talk about you. Every single one in our department used to talk about you. Ahan, everyone. So you've been the popular cool cat at Sprinkler.
I don't think so. Well, no, it's. I think I'm humbled. To listen to that. It's the people around you who make you, right. And if you remember at Sprinkler, we used to say people never forget how you make them feel. So it's just that people above everything else, right? But no, I'm much humbled. By the way, I was, in all honesty, I was not that popular. But thank you for you to think of me that way.
No, you are and you were. So I'm not gonna take that away from you. You know, it's very interesting that we finally get to catch up because we've constantly kept chatting on LinkedIn, and we were supposed to connect yesterday, but it's happening today. So I'm very fortunate, and thank you so much for accepting all the delays from my end. It means a lot for finally we are getting to sit and chat jam about something that you really represent and love, and that's something I really look up to as a department or as a whole integral function of business, that is customer success.
It's my pleasure, Varu, to be very honest, and anything for a dear friend. First of all, second thing, I believe we both share common interests in terms of customer success, right? So it's always good to share. And anybody and everybody who's listening to this, if they're picking up a thing or two or the least motivation to kind of get into this, then why not? So yeah, looking forward to this.
I'm sure I'm going to learn so much, and I'm sure the people who are going to watch, they're going to learn so much as well. So before we dive in, Harsh, I really want to understand something because I usually do a little bit of stalking of my guests. I just go to their LinkedIn. I don't usually go to Instagram. That's super personal, but LinkedIn is a place where I get to understand how they started their career, what is their background, what does their background look like, and stuff like that. And when I saw, close to more than a decade ago, you started out as a sales intern in hospitality industry, and right now it's 2024, and you're a director of customer success at DemandFarm, and it's it's a SaaS. You're in the SaaS world for as far as I remember. So tell me a little bit about yourself, because it will be justified only if you give your introduction. A, B. How did CS happen to you, or did did CS choose you, or you chose CS? How did that all happen? I would really love to listen to both the sides of it.
Of course. So the whole hospitality was actually my, you can say, one of my initial first loves, right? And back in the day, I did not know that SaaS exists, very frankly. Uh, I joined what used to be a Swiss company called Movenpick back in the day in somewhere in north of Bangalore. Pretty good hotel, learned a lot. I was handling banquet sales. I was interning over there.
Okay.
And I I come from a very traditional business family. So sales has been kind of in our genes, right? Like we have done is sales all our lives. When I say we, I mean my family. So it was a good opportunity for me to understand what's this whole you know like sales DNA that people keep talking about in your MBA classes. So I had three opportunities with me. There was one opportunity where uh, I was being placed as a marketing communication interns in Times Group. And then there was a marketing agency startup where I was supposed to be a community manager, and then this was the third one. Uh, there were two things. One, it's a Swiss hotel, so a lot of delicious Swiss food. Second, being I'm sure because this was that era in that time when Bangalore was picking up pace. I kind of knew that I'll have a lot of opportunity to interact with a lot of high functioning clients, and it could, because we're in banquet sales, it's usually talking to corporates. So that was my first exposure to B2B, to be very honest, right? I never spoke to consumers, I spoke to businesses. Um, and this was again 2000 and late 2012, early 2000, yeah, 2011, 2013, somewhere between that. So if you remember, Bangalore Metro was kind of just getting started, right? So I had the opportunity to kind of uh, talk to the core Bangalore Metro team. There were three teams. One was the local engineers who were from India, from Bangalore, and then there were some engineers who were traveling between uh, Korea and India. There was a group of engineers who were traveling between Tokyo and India, Japan and India. So I had the opportunity to kind of arrange and facilitate stays for these high net worth individuals who were like senior engineers, and um, it was fun. On top of it, I also got a project in Indian Institute of Science, so I was going around the campus, talking to a lot of scientists, and how they had a lot of people coming over. So what I learned and picked up from there is, I think sometimes selling is not about showing product; it's about showing value, right? And that's what I picked up from that 4 to 5 months of sales that I did. Incredibly fun job, to be very honest. I had an opportunity to look. If you know Ranveer Brar, he did a show in Movenpick, and back in the day he was not as famous as he is today. So I had the opportunity to see him like really upfront my face. I saw Visas because this was again a big hotel, 5-star hotel, right? So it was fun job, but then eventually I realized uh, maybe hospitality is something that is good. And again, this is my personal perspective, right? It's an industry that requires a lot of persistence, and maybe I was not meant with that metal. So I enjoyed it, and I realized that I would like to be on the other side, not on the business side, right? And then we got back to our college. The project was over, and Sprinkler just happened to me as a weekend internship. I used to work only Saturdays and Sundays with Sprinkler. Um, and yeah, eventually I got to learn the product. I got to know people over there. I got a lot of good guidance. So all the names that you said, right? Richie and Vaishak and Sharon, all of them were my like super seniors. So I got to learn a lot from them on the business that we are doing, basically. Now coming back to customer success, how did I get there and what led me to go into customer success is a very, very funny story. Uh, I'm sure you remember that we had a very famous shoe brand, shoe and apparel, for obvious reason I can't take the name. A very famous shoe and apparel brand that we were working with, an extremely famous brand, right? Like it was, it was one of the brands that aspired you to kind of, me something. And we celebrated that brand a lot at Sprinklr. And I had this one opportunity to go on one of the calls where then customer success manager of that particular uh, account was kind of doing a churn mitigation. He had a playbook to kind of mitigate churn. So we went on a pre-call before that, and when I saw that you could actually, this could actually be such a spread out strategy, and you can actually win back your customers by being on their side, right? I was kind of intrigued, because whatever has been taught to us in selling, sometimes traditionally, and it's no fault of anybody, right? Because we have moved from a product driven economy to consumer driven economy very soon. uh, so lot that is taught to us is about, it's about, me selling and you buying, right? Wherein this was all about, I'm listening, you tell me what you want. So and that was perfect, because it's I mean, I'm just being on the customer side on my company's payroll, and it's great. You get to hear about them, you get to listen, right? So that, and we went on a call, all of that happened, we won that deal. So I was like, I need to do this. This is exactly where I need to get, where empathy plays a very big part. One thing I learned over the time is CS is not a function, right? It's a philosophy. And I've been coached by my mentors and my seniors, that don't treat customer success as a role, don't treat customer success as a day job. It's a mix of empathy plus listening, plus being there for your customers, and then everything else material, right? So that's my story. I think it's quite a roller coaster. And then we expanded in Bangalore office. We had some opportunities. I just happened to get into that role, and just being at the right time at right place. And yeah, first few months, I actually suffered a lot, to be very honest. Okay. Because it's this is if you remember this, we had this team called customer advocacy team, right?
Yeah, we did.
So we were like customer success associates, to be very honest, CSAs, right? So we were helping adoption glad customers to kind of get more adoption, increase their presence and backing and stuff like that. So it was super fun. But where I got troubled was listening to customers in theory and listening to them in practice requires a lot of patience. Right? So there'll be a lot of times you would end up doing something in your perspective, but might not be very true for customers. And that's what you learn over the time, that it's not your perspective, it's their perspective colored in your perspective, right? uh, so first few months I had this issue. I used to have a very inside out view, right? And then I realized, no, I need to have an outside in view. I need to understand their problem first and then put the solution forward. So that's where it started, and yeah, here we are.
I mean, like when you mentioned about the inside out and outside in view, Harsh, the moment, the thing that struck me very hard is how a traditional client servicing thing works with advertising agencies, right? Like, I wouldn't call it a mistake or something of that sort, but predominantly, uh, they do service. I'm not sure if they are completely on the side of the client or something, except they have to make sure that the client is getting everything they're looking for. But they have to basically like advocate the internal team, the designers, the copywriters, and tell this is a great copy, this is a great design, go for it, and things like that. But I think on contrary, customer success, when you mentioned that It's like, from the other side, we need to basically get, like, it's the customer's perspective colored in yours. It's something very interesting, and I'm hearing it for the first time. Good. Even
I mean, it's very frankly, it's the outside in perspective and the inside out perspective is exactly the demarcation between client services and customer success. I mean, we can call it whatever names we want, right? Uh, Customer success thrives and thrives on value. It's all about showing the customer what's in it for them, rather than you say and I'll get it done. So there is a lot of no involved in customer success,
Okay.
wherein maybe, and again, I've never done client services, maybe I'm wrong, so please don't put me on the spot over here. A lot of times in client services you do say no, but you end up doing things that customers need, right? Your needs are, or sorry, your delivery is driven by needs of the customer, wherein with customer success your delivery is driven by the value that is going to come out of customers usage, right? So I think that's the thin line. And again, maybe it's a lot of companies don't use customer service as a subject, or as a job title, client service. If you just take that out for a minute and think about it from the industry perspective, right? If you're in SaaS AI now, right, it's all about value based returns. That's where customer success comes into the play. You are not a delivery handler. You are basically helping the customer to understand what steps you take to derive maximum value out of the investment that you have made. So yeah.
Well put. Definitely well put. When you see value, around what the customers are going to take, I remember there's this term, value realization, as something that, that used to be like very important. I think across board in SaaS, realizing the value of whether the product that you're actually like providing and the service that you're providing along with the product is very important. Now, when it comes to customer, how do you communicate the value? I think we all say value is the most important thing, but many SaaS companies, like, small companies or bigger companies, at least a couple of them that I have worked with, they miserably failed in terms of communicating that value very clearly or in a way that the customers would understand. So I think customer success professionals come here as a great support and a great advocate over here. So what do you think is a missing piece when it comes to communicating the value to the customers?
I think before we even talk about value, we need to roll back a little bit and understand that there are two things that every organization has, right? There is something known as a purpose, and then there is something known as a promise. Purpose is your goals, how are you going to achieve those goals? My bad, the other way around. Purpose is your, what exactly you're going to achieve, right? And promise is how exactly you're going to achieve. So your goals and everything becomes your promise. Purpose will be your mission, your yearly goal, that this is where we have to reach, or we need to become a 5x big company by end of the year, etc., etc. So every time a software sales happen, the reason why you are chosen at your customer's end is because you are part of those purpose and promises somewhere.
Okay.
Right? So for example, let's say today X customer buys DemandFarm. That's because they need a very strong key account management program, right? And they need to make that digital. Traditionally, account management happens on spreadsheets, on presentations, and they want to change that, right?
Yeah.
So you are part of one of the purpose, which is, I'm going to change a key account program to meet a promise, correct?
Yeah.
Now let's rework this from backside. Let's switch places. I am DemandFarm.
Okay.
I need to understand your purpose and promise first. I need to understand what and why am I important to you that you're investing in me, right? I need to understand your goals and how do I fit in your goals. Then it becomes very easy to prove value. So value is a direct derivation of purpose and promise. It's a double-edged sword, right? It's a two-way street. If you do not, as a customer success manager, if you do not really map promises and purpose, or goals and strategies for that matter, right, for your customer, that, hey, why am I important to you? Why do you need this now? I don't think you'll ever be able to provide value. because everything you say would become more of inside out again that we spoke about, right? It's according to me this is value, but that doesn't really matter, right? Like what matters is what customer thinks is value. So every time you do your onboarding, every time you meet your customers for the first time, ask them why now, why do anything, and why, in my case, demand farm, right? Why do you need it? And this is where a lot of us kind of get into the habit of excitement of the tool. Okay, I'm going to walk you through features, I'm going to show you AI, I'm going to show you whatnot, but I've always failed to understand, okay, behind this mammoth Boeing that you're buying, what's the little child purpose that you have? So understanding the purpose is very important. It's a very famous video by Simon Sinek, Start with Why,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And this particular place is the best place for you where you can use that. I would highly suggest, if you've not seen it, viewers, if you've not seen Start with Why, it's a 12-minute video, 12 to 10 minutes of video. Go and watch it. Purpose will derive value. If you do not know the purpose, off lately, this has become my favorite quote. If you're climbing the wrong mountain, speed doesn't matter, right?
Oh,
So yeah, I think that's where value realization happens, right? You need to understand why your customer investing in you.
I think this also ties back to something that you mentioned, right? Like being product centric versus customer centric. So basically, if we don't understand the why of it, we automatically go back to being product centric and we are not being customer centric. So it's as simple as that.
I think it has to be a good mix of both. You cannot outweigh each other, right? It's
Very true.
it's not neither and either. Uh,
Yeah.
you need to use product centricity to become customer centric, right? I recall a very good thing that happened back at Sprinklr. So one of the customers that we had, very famous alcohol brand in the US, they were running a campaign online, and I think they they were at a spot where they were not responding to us for 3 months, right? And when I got a chance to speak to them, they said, uh, we're just busy with figuring out how we're gonna run this campaign online. Uh, so and us being us, we kind of asked them, could you please explain what exactly it is? Maybe we could be able to help, right? So they gave a detail of the campaign, and then eventually we ran that entire campaign using Sprinklr as one of the capabilities, right? So this is an example, right? Product centricity and customer centricity. We understood what customers want, and then you use the product to deliver it. If I would have gotten into a conversation to say, no, we have 15 features, tell me which one do you want to use, it wouldn't work out. I use it the other way around, or we use it the other way around, asking, what is your problem? Let's fix that first. Let's understand how can we fix it for you, right? So it has to be a good balance of both. It cannot be one. It cannot be both in different scales. It has to be 50-50. So yeah.
Makes sense. I think this is going to be a great takeaway for a lot of founders over here because it's very easy to get caught up with either one of those. There's always like you said, there needs to be a proper equilibrium, a balance that has to be like maintained.
Yeah, absolutely. The balance is important. Everything. I'm a huge Karate Kid fan, like where he keeps on talking about balance.
Okay, I have this weird question for you, Harsh, because there's a lot of stakeholder management happening. I mean, more than just management, I would say communication. As far as I know, because when I was working for different SaaS companies as well as Sprinklr altogether, I've seen how a CS person works, right? Um, so tell me something very honestly that do you guys really love to be on phone forever, or in personal life you say when someone says, hey, let me call you, like, no, I just want to stay away from calls and things like that? How does it work?
No, it all. I get that question a lot. By the way, that you always on
Okay.
call, right? And generally speaking, my calls are mostly out of good relationships. Uh, I've and this is a genuine effort, right? I don't try this because uh, I want to do this, but it's a very genuine effort to know the person you're working with on the other side from a life perspective. It works. And knowing somebody like that helps you understand their pain points. And what's better than you being, there for their, happy moment and dull moments. But that being said, I think it's if I'm on call, I truly enjoy it because it's the people I talk to, right? It's not the business I'm talking to.
Makes sense.
At the same time, the derivation is the result, or the result is the derivation of work. It comes out as a derivation in form of work, right? So I find absolutely fun to engage with different stakeholders. I've had I've had my dull moments where somebody's really not that interactive. It's okay. It's all right. I like to give them the space. But I would say 8 out of 10 times I've had really good relationships built out, which have lasted in in larger scale of schemes. Like some of them ended up being my mentors. Some of them ended up being really my travel buddies. When I'm visiting US or I'm visiting UK, I just call them up and we just grab a good cup of coffee. And I don't drink alcohol, so good cup of coffee for me does well, right? Uh, and just meet them, have fun, like interacting, sharing business ideas, sharing understanding business tactics and whatnot. So it's good in that way. I don't get bored of talking to people. I love talking to people.
Yeah, I think that should be one other criteria to whoever is watching this, who's going to watch this video. I think someone who aspires to get into customer success, I think this could be one of the qualities to basically like possess. Because to be very honest, even on the community building side of it, right? I think I personally feel that it's pretty much the same, both community management and customer success, except for various other things that you guys do for business and what we do for business seem to be like totally like different on the other sides, but the stakeholder management part of it is like very much same. And as many community managers that I have met, including me, we are ambivert sort of personality, as in let's say that I'm on an event, I'm talking to multiple people or getting on a call with members because I need to understand feedback or whatnot. um I would like to go on anti-social mode for almost like for another 2-3 days. Okay, enough of people, it's too much for me. I just want to stay away from all of that, and then I get back to it. But I think having that balance, like you said, the relationships and engaging with them, I think those conversations actually like make your day better. So I agree to that as well.
Well, I'm in all honesty, I'm an absolute extrovert. I love talking to people. For some reason, I just maybe it's one of the things that I could do if I'm not working. I can just connect with people. You know,
Okay.
uh,
Okay.
one of the most common things that I connect with people on is food. It just strikes a chord. Yeah, it's a universal language.
That's
I
great.
can go hours and hours because I love food beyond tasting. Right, I love understanding food. It just connects me to somebody. So,
By any chance?
was that
Do you cook by any chance?
I I like it. It's my it's a nice cozy activity that I do on weekends. I love cooking, to be very honest. Um, I love cooking for my wife. She enjoys what I make for dinner, for lunch, for breakfast. We just have these 2 days where only I cook, and she's my test case. You know, so yeah, it's a project for me, to be very honest. It I like it when, and it's like customer success, right? Like it's few ingredients in the beginning. The purpose is just bringing it together, making a beautiful dish out of it, right? And serving it to the EB, who's my wife, the economic buyer, right? And then she approves it. Yeah, yeah.
Do you have a QBR for
Then
that?
we have a QBR, and then she renews me for next week or not. So yeah,
That's a good one.
yeah.
Okay. Um, Awesome. So I understood that you're an amazing, I mean, you're completely extrovert. I don't know how extroverts do it because it requires a lot of energy, to be very honest. Um, let's get back to the stakeholder management part of it, right? So we were talking about the phone call cases and things like that. The other thing that I would really like to understand is that majority of the business miss out in this place when it comes to stakeholder management, right? Like when you said this purpose, value, and all of it, as much as the customer success team altogether understand outside in thing, your perspective, and everything is fine, but if you're not internally aligned, if there is like not enough communication that is happening within the internal team themselves, like what I'm trying to say is like it's a lot of silos that actually exist in many companies, and I think that is also another big missing piece for any company to basically like churn, or like their customers to churn or something or the other happens with the customer and things like that. So, what do you think is the core missing piece when it comes to stakeholder management?
Internally,
Yes.
like internal stakeholder,
Yeah, internal.
I I strongly believe it's the absence of understanding of the purpose. Um, and sometimes sometimes we all are in the race of delivering so much that we forget what's at stake, right? So in my world, I keep on reminding that listen, we are partners over here. We are all moving towards one direction, which is a happy customer, right? And I think one thing that I make very clear in every stakeholder relationship, that my word is customer's word. It's not what is coming from here, it's coming from the customers. Customer is here. Right? So it's essentially aligning your stakeholders to understand that they're part of a bigger mission, and I'm sure they understand that, right? It's just a matter of communicating it um, in a nice way. A lot of them just don't do it nicely, but it's just beyond delivery. On the other side, sometimes you have to be empathetic about your stakeholders too, right? They come with a lot of difficulties, they come with a um, lot of responsibilities to deliver things, and deadlines and timelines. So you need to find a pathway in between, um, and that between pathway is basically reminding each other that listen, we are here for a bigger purpose, right? So if that is taken care of, I don't see a reason why you will have a problem. Beyond that, I think there is always going to be friction if you want to create sparks. So it's all right, right? It's okay. It's healthy friction is nice. Sometimes challenging each other is good. Uh, a lot of my stakeholders challenge me, and I trust me, I've learned a lot out of it. It has helped me become a better, a better deliverable person in front of the customer. So I'm absolutely in for that. I love healthy challenges, and I equally like to give it to my coworkers as well. So internal stakeholding works well when you set purpose and you align with that purpose. It has worked for me. So yeah.
Also, don't you think the hierarchy could also become, and I wouldn't call it an issue, but for instance, let's say most of the cases, the customer success talks to the delivery team manager, and the manager from the delivery team manager, the set of people who are actually working on the delivery side is like working on it. So don't you think that hierarchy can also like come in between when it comes to, as much as we understand purpose is the core part of it, whether or not in the hierarchy is there or not, but don't you think that comes in the way in between for many companies?
I mean, that's a very difficult question, to be very honest. I would like to say it does, um, but again, nothing beyond customer, right? Uh, I sometimes like to take matters in my hand because I understand. Again, like I said, I'm empathetic of the fact as well. I'm not saying that there's a chance that only I am right. There's a high chance I'm absolutely wrong, but it's the customer. You have to put that in front of everything, right? So I don't think it's a big challenge as such. Um, I, luckily, or maybe I've been lucky enough to work in organizations where hierarchies haven't been like big challenges, right? And I have not seen a situation where hierarchy falls down. Uh, Everybody's motivated to do things for the customers. Eventually, that's the bigger game. So when the time strikes, they forget everything and they deliver. So it doesn't play a lot when there is this absolutely P0 moment. Uh, but there are times when it does play, but it's okay. You can mitigate it via different ways, right? You always have to find a different way to get things done. So yeah.
Got it. I just deliberately put you on spot, nothing else, because many companies, I I do understand that, at least in Sprinklr that I worked with, uh, one thing that I really liked about that you mentioned, right? Like, even I was part of the delivery team. So the whole thing was, even are the KPIs that we need to be mindful about were around customers. Like, it was like happy customers, and the month on month review that we get, the 3 month ones review that we get, everything else was not because how we did the work, but more around how it helped the customer at the end of the day. So I completely get it, but it was a deliberate effort to, I mean, like, to put you on spot. So sorry about that.
No, no, it's a very fair question, and this is one of those conundrums you can never solve.
Yeah.
Uh, like I said, if you need sparks, there's going to be friction. It's okay to have those frictions. I'm all right. It's okay. It's at For me, if again, I'm gonna say this at the cost of sounding repetitive, right? Like, if a purpose is defined, you will find your way. You will eventually know where to go and how to make it happen. So yeah.
Got it. And I mean, I got intrigued, when you kept talking about, like, when we were talking about stakeholder management, delivery, XYZ, that as a director of customer success, how does your day look like, Harsh? Like, starting from morning to evening or evening to night, depending on the time zone that you work for. How does it look like?
I have a 90-minute block on my calendar, which is 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. to just spend time with my son.
Nice. Okay.
That's Trust me, that's just non-negotiable for me.
Okay.
But my Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays are all about uh, in 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 sequence. They're about planning, uh, discussion and delivery. Thursdays and Fridays are all about strategizing, right? So if you look at my calendar, this is how it is spanned out. So Mondays and Tuesdays are usually a lot of cross connection, team meetings, leadership connects, strategy sessions, right? Um, One thing that is permanent in my calendar, which is 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. It could vary based on my availability. Is I listen to a lot of gong calls, which are done by our account executives, which are done by our CSMs, because you learn a lot out of them. At the same time, you also get an understanding of customers' pulse, right? So there's 1 hour block on my calendar to do uh, just gong call listening and gong call reading. And then I have a healthy team of about 7 people. I meet them once in a week, understand what's going on. uh, we call it the flash meets. We don't do like a traditional 1 hour meeting where you run me through the QBR or whatever. We just talk me about your top 5 customers, talk me about your top 5 renewals in this quarter, and talk me about your top 5 risk accounts. And then we go about understanding what are the next steps. Very basic, right? Every CS leader does this. One thing that we do once in every bi-weekly is a session where we understand what went wrong with our accounts, right? And we just consume that to ensure that we don't repeat something again, right? Um, Apart from that, there are customer meetings. I talk to a lot of the customers. I don't shy away from meeting them. I don't shy away from having connects. Some of the customers that we have, I'm directly connected to COOs, CROs. And our conversations are not about, hey, how are you using demand farm today? It's more about how are you going to use demand farm in next 6 months, right? And what do you expect to derive out of it? So it gives a lot of purpose. It gives a lot of understanding of where we need to be as a tool, right? I do spend some time talking to our end users, not only leaders, right? Because it gives you a very front end experience of how the user experience should be. So yeah, very boring.
No, it's not.
Very boring. It's very typical customer success. Talk to your customers, talk to your team, sort of a day. So yeah.
No, if you put it that way, that is generic way to put. But when you mentioned about listening to end users and what they would actually like expect, in, like the 6 months term or something of that sort. I mean, they're like imagine you're saving a lot of product teams time. The amount that they have to put in the research and development without knowing what puzzle they're solving. I mean, that's the best part. Boring is always the best way to go about.
Yeah. I and honestly, that's the whole idea, right? There are ways where product team works extremely hard to go out in the market and know what needs to be built.
True.
And then there is another way where we already have a good set of customers who can give us a lot of feedback, right? So why not take that into purpose? Uh, and it will help us build better. It will help us be more stronger in terms of our pipelines, right? Because then our product roadmap is fueled by needs and requirements. It's not fueled by assumptions. So yeah.
Very true. When you're talking about this, Biswa, I hope you remember Biswa from our team.
Right. Yeah, I do. Yes, yes.
So Biswa and we both had a conversation. She moved from community management to customer experience completely, and certain things that she mentioned, sort of like I got remembered of it, which was so customer experience. They get a lot of data points that intentionally or unintentionally that we would want to get from the customers. Right now, having said that, like what customers are looking for, what problems they are facing, XYZ is also very central and essential for customer success. I mean, the entire organization needs it, but customer success for what not for the business purpose, right? Now, I don't know if you guys have the customer experience team, but very specific set of companies have that. B, I think there are a lot of things that you can get from customer support team as well, like because where are they exactly finding like the end user part that you were telling suggesting, right? Like where exactly are they finding it challenging? Where are they not spending more time, or are we like probably selling that part of it a lot outside in the market? So do you basically like take information from all these places, or how does that that customer related information apart from direct interaction, where all do you basically like pick up?
Uh, I'll just take a historical experience over here, right? I'll not go with my current experience, because the nature of the product that we have right now,
Okay.
customer experience building happens on the go, right? Uh, it will. I mean, eventually it will come to this point that I'll explain you how. Historically, I have seen that your reactive customer support uh, is a good fodder for you to understand customers who are going to churn and who might not churn, right? If a customer is quiet after raising an issue, you have to be careful about it, right? If a customer is absolutely radio silent after raising an issue and you're giving them a solution, there is something wrong over there. If a customer is constantly asking you to do something again and again,
Okay.
we are fixing it, it's broken again, there is something wrong. If a customer is giving you a ticket that you resolve and a feedback comes through that, listen, this is good, but I would love to have it this way, it's a healthy customer because they're trying to help you so that it helps their use case, right? So your support tickets, and this is all in, you don't have to take it for word to word, right? A lot of times it could be different, but most of the time this is how it is, right? So your customer support basically gives you what you like to call the pH level of a customer sentiment, right? So if customer success today is consuming this, by the way, the people that customer success talk to are not usually end users, right? But if they consume this and they are proactive about it to talk to his champion or her champion, you are actually mitigating your risk of losing that account, right? So it's always good to have that data. It's always good to understand what your customers are raising tickets about. Voice of customer is very crucial, right? However, in if we look, how has this evolved? How has this evolved now? Um, I think customer experience, uh, customer experience doesn't limit itself to uh, just support tickets. It's also, your reviews. You have to go all the way to G2, Capterra, wherever you have, software reviews. Sorry, my son is over here. Excuse me 1 second.
No.
Okay, I'm back. Uh, where was I? Sorry, we lost our part. Yeah. So there are those sources, G2, Capterra, and in our case, we usually, because we are an ISV, Demand Farm is an ISV. It's an app that is on Salesforce. We look at a lot of Salesforce reviews as well, right? So for us, those reviews matter a lot, and our support tickets actually talk about the health of the customer, but we like to lead it from a very uh, different angle, right? We basically like to understand if what they have requested for or what their end user have requested for is a pie in the sky, or that is a real functionality fix. So we often tell them that, listen, is this something that is not giving you enough flexibility to do what you have bought the tool for? If the answer is yes, I would go about it. I would just not think twice. But if the answer is maybe or no, then I don't think it's a thing to solve today. It's a good feedback. We'll take it. We'll keep it. Right. Uh, we'll we'll also consume it to develop the roadmap, but it should serve value. It should not block what you're supposed to do with the tool. Right. So that's important for me because again, eventually that's the larger customer experience. Correct. And that has been same with other sides of my past experience as well. If it's a good to have, and if it doesn't answer the question that is it providing you value or accelerating the uses that you have, then it's a very straightforward answer, right? Like, maybe we put this in the roadmap. We don't need it right now, right? So yeah, and it's by no means I'm trying to say this is not helpful. It might be helpful, but if it's not helping you in the purpose, then I think we should not focus on that. So yeah, so it helps, uh, but there's always a connection to providing value, right? Is this giving you enough flexibility and value to meet your goals? So yeah, it does.
Got it. So, I mean, like you mentioned that, when it comes to type of tickets, like, I mean, like how customer reacting to the tickets and things like that. So that becomes fodder for multiple departments, not just CS, also the product, also, the experience team, also everyone who's going to be involved in the business, because I think that's where we understand what's not working, what's broken, what's not broken.
Absolutely. No, like I said, it's a and we being representatives of the customers at the organization, this we become the core of that feedback, right? We gather that and then we take it back to the product, we take it back to engineering, and we take it back to marketing, that hey, listen, this needs to be fixed in some of the fashion, right? By the way, when I say we don't prioritize it in that moment, but that still goes as a feedback to multiple teams. We work on it, right? There's constant work going on in the background for things that are not happening right in the moment, but will eventually happen in the future, because it's still customer experience. It's still what a customer wants, right?
True. True.
So it still goes on in the background, but we take handful of things which actually impact the real experience and then deliver that. So yeah.
Got it. So there is another weird question that I want to ask just to make sure that, there's not too serious of, question and answer session that's going on. Is that, there's this saying that says that there's birth and there's like end of your life and so much happens in between. CS looks like it's there forever. Like, from the birth till the end, till even in between, it matters a lot for CS so that the end doesn't happen soon. So I would really like to understand two aspects of it. I mean, the most important aspects of CS, Harsh, is the onboarding part and the retention part. I think both are interrelated with each other, and of course, what's happening in between as well, like we were discussing about it. Now, when it comes to onboarding, right, many people have this assumption that onboarding is like, be it a few customers or like the companies themselves, businesses themselves, is that filling a bunch of questionnaire that you're basically throwing at the customer, right? Because it's much beyond all of that. Onboarding also means an experience. How do they basically gel well or slide into your ecosystem? And when both the ecosystem, like you said, how they become a partner as a whole to work forward, I know, for years together or something of that sort. So, how do you define a good onboarding experience should look like? A and B. When it comes to retention, right? Like, what is the most important thing that we need to focus in onboarding as well as in the ongoing so that the retention actually like happens effortlessly, or sometimes the retention might even lead to a new business opportunity as well. So if we can address both of these, it'll be super helpful.
I'd like to use an example to address this. Let's, and again, I don't want to use any names over here, right? Let's say there are two OTT streaming apps. App A, very expensive app, has a nice red logo, right? So you know what I'm talking about, right?
Okay.
App is more of an local language, much cheaper, delivers to regional content. Um, Now, app A you install in your phone. The best way to kind of get into the app is you give your credit card, right? Put into auto payment, log in using an OTP, and boom, you're done. And then this app A can actually give you access to a couple of more screens as well, right? So the way you do that is you just have to scan the QR code and the app basically transfers to the screen. So now you're watching it on your phone, you're watching it on your TV, probably want to watch it on your iPad too, right? So you had just have to scan, and in just few seconds you're on all three apps, correct?
Yeah.
The app B basically has a larger process, right? You have to log in, and every time you want to watch it on TV, you have to log off from your phones, or you can watch it on your TV. Maybe you want to watch it on your iPad, so you have to log off from your TV and phone to watch it on your iPad. Um, Eventually, you will only use app B for watching that one movie which was uploaded over there, versus an app A which becomes part of your lifestyle. Now, the difference between these two was the first one had a very smooth experience to get into the app, right? After you get into the app, maybe you'll not consume all the movies. Maybe you'll not watch everything that is released. Maybe you'll hate some content, but you'll still keep it. App B probably has better movies, but you just hate logging into it again and again. So you'll never use it again.
Yeah.
The onboarding works exactly like this. If your first few months is all about getting them used to the usage or getting them used to the UI, right? It's all about creating excitement. It's all about making sure that they understand the bigger scheme of things on what is going to happen using this. One. Second thing, if you rewind back a little bit, I told you about every time you start meeting your customer, you have to start understanding why they have bought this. That is a part of your onboarding. Because then you remind them again and again that, listen, you're not meeting this goal by not doing this. Or by doing this, you are actually checking this box out, right? So when CSMs at my current organization, they do onboarding, they actually set 30, 60, and 90-day milestones. And then they would basically go backwards, like from 30 days, this is what you need to achieve. These are 3 milestones. This is what you need to do. And they would do the training. Now I'll double click on the training bit. The training happens in the form of learn, show, and do. Learn is essentially you are you're giving some self consumables which you can consume at your own time. Show is your training sessions, right? Like where CSMs go and train people that hey, this is how you create an whatever thing on the tool. Do is essentially, all right, take it back. When we come back tomorrow, we'll start with these milestones, right? So it's kind of an exercise. Now this makes sure that people are actually doing stuff, right? And create excitement to use the tool. So if you're able to kind of train people well and then tie it back to the purpose, again I'm using this word, tie it back to the purpose, I think your onboarding will be smooth. Most of the times your onboardings don't land well because you just start that you bought a tool, let's get into training. It's not only training, it's a lot more than that, right? Like you talk about mapping your champion, you talk about who you're going to talk to throughout the journey, right? And what are the different frequencies of connects you want to do. There's a lot more than what we think about, right? So again, think of a good onboarding like that OTD app with red logo, where it's seamless. You might not use everything that is on the tool, but you log into the tool at least once in a time, right? There is something coming out of it. So yeah, it's very important. And that's how we kind of go about it.
Got it. And about the retention that I was asking, right? Like,
Yeah, I think adoption and consumption, the just two words. Everything with goals and purpose, adoption and consumption. So lead and lag, and we just do a lot of reality check. We just understand why is the adoption not happening. We don't force adoption. That's not the right thing to do.
Yeah.
We rather do adoption via the route of derivation, right? Like, hey, what are you trying to achieve this quarter? Let's say somebody says that I want to create 500 account plans on DemandFarm. That's a benchmark for me, right? So I would rather want to see like a progress meter that 500 is your goal for the end of quarter, and we'll keep progressing it. Like 30 days here we are, 60 days here we are, and why is it not getting met, or why is it getting met needs to be discussed. So if we drive by that, I think I know the goal. I know that we are working towards it. I know that you're adopting to the tool. Then it's a matter of just moving to the next cycle, right? Retention is a result. What all you do behind retention is what matters, right? Renewal is just a result. Renewal would come if you help your customers achieve what they have bought the tool for, right? So yeah, I think those are two straightforward, strong words. Adoption and consumption. It's like the mother metric of everything. Then there are some more tactical metric. I don't think I should talk about it because everybody knows. Every customer success leader would know about this. So you look at LPS, you look at cheese scores, customer happiness indexes, and whatnot. But if you're not tying customers' goal to your adoption and consumption strategy, then retention will never happen. So yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Adoption is the key. The other thing that sort of like like when you're talking about the adoption, the progress bar and things like that, just for the sake of clearing the confusion of people who are going to like view, is that many people confuse that with building new features. Like for instance, they think that hey, when a customer comes forward and says something, like you mentioned, right, it has to tie with the purpose. What are you looking to achieve in this quarter? I want to achieve this XYZ. And then how you're going to basically like help them achieve it through the product and things like that. Many of them assume that hey, this is not there, this needs to immediately go into the product, new product feature request or something of that sort, and then they go back, put time in doing something, and then the other customer comes and they want completely different things over here. And this is a constant confusion that I've seen in smaller SaaS based startups a lot, right? So how do you basically like cater to this confusion of feature request and this one, Harsh?
I think I may have answered this question in a little different form, right? It's about understanding if if what your ask is helping you achieve the goals that you have set with us, helping you achieve accelerate usage of the tool, helping you accelerate ease the pain to deliver something that ties to your core. If it answers and check boxes all of them, then it's no longer a feature. It's an adoption necessity, right? If it doesn't check at least one of them, then maybe it's a good thing to have, but not now, maybe in future. So I would rather move that focus to something that will help increase adoption. So yeah, I think it's a pretty straightforward answer and simple one. If it doesn't help you accelerate usage, I don't think, and you have to be transparent about it with your customers, right? Like, explain it to them that, hey, by doing this, maybe you'll get a very good view of the. I'm just hypothetically saying, maybe you get a good report or a dashboard, but if it's not helping you, you know, derive value out of the tool, I would rather focus on something else than this. So yeah.
Okay, got it. Now, I have a few set of questions, and I want like a quick, brief answers for them, and I want to make this a real. You did not keep. Okay. Do you actually enjoy rapid fires?
I would try. I always suck at them, but it's just one of those things like the game of uh what's it called? Tambola. I suck at it. I never win. But I still love playing it for some reason. I don't know.
I love Tambola too, but I never win. Okay. Okay, this is the first one. I know this is going to be like you did answer this, but I'm still going to ask you. Being part of this customer success team, heading the team. I know you have a lot of KPIs and internally a lot of things to basically look at. So, what takes front seat for you, like an upsell or the needs or the customer wanting to be successful? I know both are not, they both go hand in hand, but first thing that comes to your mind,
The second one.
success of the customer.
I want success to fuel upsells. Right? I don't think upselling first and then proving success would take you anywhere. So the first one fuels the later. So first one is more important to me.
Makes sense. Now, how often has your team received support related issue? Because me being part of community management, I talk to a lot of my members and things like that. And many a times I've gotten support related issues, and I have to go back to the support team and say, hey, this person has this problem. Can you please check out or something? So have you ever, like the entire CS team, anyone has faced this?
A lot of times. And I always suggest my CS team that, hey, if it's in the span of your hand, do it. Do it. It's not in front of the customer. It's not like, hey, this is not my responsibility. Somebody else is supposed to do it. If you're not qualified and expert to do it, always ask for help. But if you think it's at the span of hand, just take it, get it done. I mean, that's what matters, right? Like helping the customer. So if it's a code fix, if it's an issue with the code, something needs to be debugged, a CSM wouldn't be qualified to handle it. So he needs help or she needs help. So they will do it. But if it's something that can be done, like, just at the pinch of fire, then why not just get it done? It's that as simple as that.
Nice. I like this attitude. Awesome. So there is always a love-hate relationship between different teams. Like, as far as I remember, there's this cold war between testers and developers, and something similar to that. Do you guys experience this love-hate relationship? I don't know. Is it with sales team, product team, or developers or customers?
I love my sales team. Pawan, if you're listening to this, I don't know. I love you, man. He's a great guy. We share a very good equation. And we have never had a moment where it felt that it's a love-hate relationship. It's always win-win relationship, So my sales counterpart, my sales director, he's always he pushes me, to get things better. I push him to get things better. And I think we banter a lot. It's just our equation kind of fuels a lot of fun in the environment. So we love working with each other. At least I do. I don't know about him. I'm speaking for him, but I love working with him. He's a great guy. And same as with other teams. I think we just uh, get along pretty well because we all know that we are in it for that customer obsession, right? We all come from that mindset. Uh, we are here to make sure that every customer is attended to in terms of value realization. So I think we luckily we've never had that issue at all. So yeah.
It makes me uh, tell this, which is to someone who acts really well. They say that you're a born artist, and I think I should address you as a born customer success professional, because whether it is cooking, whether it is your colleague, whether anything that you bring in, everything is like related to customer success. And I think this is the first person that I'm meeting who's so obsessed with, I mean, like, not for the sake of saying it, but really, really obsessed with the success of the customers and taking them as like a most important part or function or philosophy, like you mentioned, to basically like move forward. It's so nice.
I appreciate that. No, I mean, eventually that's what brings in. They are the ones who are the reason for us to exist, right? So it has to be bi-directional. It can't be one way. So yeah.
So if you were to say that this has been my best save, because you've been in you must have been in many situations where they're about to churn. I know that was like you just went ahead and then you swept them off their feet. Is there any scenario of such way that you were able to like save that account?
I mean, I honestly don't. I've never thought it like that. That this is my best save. Every dollar, every penny saved is a great save. To be very honest, right? Like every customer I speak to, if I'm able to kind of turn their sentiment, uh, and I'm grateful that they give us chances, right? Second chances are very rare, and any customer who does that, I'm truly grateful to them, right? So every save is special. Every save is special. Every dollar that we bring back is special because it gives us a second chance to kind of get us back on the map. You know, not all second chances are possible. So if you're getting a second chance, you have to kind of take it all. So every customer we save, it's beyond and above gratitude, nothing else. So, yeah.
Nice. And I would like to tell the viewers that customer success professionals are doctors with no white coat and no MBBS. MD.
One. That's a good one. We are general physicians. Jack of all.
Okay, I think this is going to be something that you cannot escape by being extremely politically correct and always being a customer success person. I mean, I think this is going to be something very close to your heart, which is, what is the most unforgettable compliment that you got from the client, and that made you feel like, okay, I somehow feel that this is something very special to me and I feel so alive after this.
Man, you just said that I cannot be politically diplomatic, but I again, I have. This is a very genuine answer, right? Every time uh, a customer meets their goal is special. But if it has to be one instance, I cannot name the exact customer. But there have been moments where uh, we have been, and this is way back 2013. This is way pre customer success era, right? Uh, we have spent, and when I say way back, it has to be Sprinklr because that's what I spent quarter of my life. Uh, we spent literally 18 hours constant to mitigate a very potential cybersecurity risk on this customer. Um, it was just not me; there were a few other people as well, and we all got AirPods for that, right? And I was pretty young in my career. Having to do something like that is extremely special. I still have that AirPod. I wish I would have kept it before my call. Uh, I've kept it as a memorabilia. it's still there, right? Extremely special for me because it's your first, you're given it all, you're young, hungry for attention, and you got it. And you got attention by doing the right things, right? So extremely special to me, extremely warm to me, Um, and if I can, if I have to remember one more instance, it is I got a text from one of our ex-colleagues at Sprinklr.
Okay.
After this is very recently, and it's been what, 3.5 years I left Sprinklr, and I got a message saying, "Hey, we still use your trainings," uh, which was absolutely warm for me. It's so special, so damn special for me, right? Uh, like it's the art that stays in artist, not the artist. So it's that I'm not an artist by any way, right? It's just work. So it's in that dimension. It's in that trophy cabinet. So I'm glad I'm able to contribute outside where I am right now, right? It's just feels special to make a difference. So yeah.
Very much. So nice. I mean, some nice things. I think I did make you feel, remember all those memories that you.
Best time was spent, the reason why I call it best time is because you just started your career, and there was so much happening. uh you fell down, you had, at some point in time I had escalations on me. It's fine. I think I if I had a chance to travel back in time and meet the older me, I would say that it's okay, everything's going to be fine, right? But I think if I did that, I would take it easy on me and never never improve a lot. So it's special. It's special. Yeah. So it's pretty nice.
In this, from this conversation, I don't know, like in Tamil, I'm a Tamilian, uh, and like half Kannada, half Tamil, and half Marathi. I mean, like a little bit of Marathi as well. So there's this saying, I mean, like there's something that happens, right? Like when there is a gossip in magazine, they say that 3-letter word actor is, going out with 5-letter word actress. Something like that is going to be my title for this particular show, because I mean this episode, because he said that a famous app, OTT app with a red logo, that's going to be the title of this episode probably.
No, I don't want any
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
you know getting a legal notice from anybody.
NDAs or something that constantly come in front. Yeah, I totally understand. No, I'm just kidding. We can't skip this. We can't skip this section, and I don't want to skip this section, because having you being working in this CS for a long period of time, and I think you're the right person to answer this, right? Like, we talk a lot about AI, and of course, AI is a great facilitator for any sort of problem that we are facing at this point of time. One is like the repetition and the amount of manual effort that we need to put instead of focusing on the big picture and things like that, right? So what is the role of AI in CS, and where do you think AI can further make CS more prominent for businesses?
I mean, haven't we already seen AI in CS? It's not now. It's been there for a very long time. Uh, Automated responses, and there are these knowledge portals that are very intelligent. So I think it's just going to accelerate the way you create experiences for your customer, right? Um, I have created a GPT bot called Merlin. It's very specific to my current organization, and I think we just at the trial I've just fed uh, some information, and I use it to ask questions. So, and it learns, it takes the pattern, and it kind of makes me faster to respond to somebody, right? um so it's just gonna enhance CS in a way where you actually focus on strategy, while a lot of things can be taken care by an AI assistant. uh Look at Gong. It's I mean, like I said, I literally have 1 hour on my calendar every day to listen to gong calls. Without gong, I wouldn't understand a lot of intelligence, right? So there's going to be an intelligence angle, and then there is going to be a an angle where productivity is kind of sharpened a lot, right?
Yeah.
So it's been there. I don't think there's anything uh new. Okay, there are a lot of new things, but there is anything we all need to be surprised about. Because he has been there. It's just that it's become more commercial and more accessible. There's been a lot of development, which is good. Uh, but the first use case that I ever saw with AI was at Sprinkler. It was 2015, right? So I don't feel that, oh, we have suddenly AI, and it's always been there. We all knew this will become the next big thing. We just were too blindsided by the things. That's it. And I love the fact that it is helping us solve a lot of things. Today, ChatGPT for me, or Gemini, or Bard, all these tools actually help me deliver a lot of things in a more efficient way, right? So yeah, why not?
Completely agree. I mean, I kept telling the same thing to other guests as well. That AI is not there today. It's been there for ages. It's now that we are. I think it's because it is made to be used by anyone and everyone. Until then, it was all about like someone who's on the uh, tech side and move to someone who's working on the delivery side, and then now it's become accessible by anyone. So I think that's one of the reasons why it has become a huge deal.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've seen uh, the negative side of it. Uh, when I say negative side, I mean people sharing the negative side of it, which and again, this is my personal opinion. I kind of disagree that it's gonna take away jobs. It's just gonna take away what could have been a productivity blocker, right? And help you focus on things that you need to do. So
Exactly.
there, I don't know who said this, but or maybe I read it somewhere. AI will not eat your job. The guy who knows AI will eat your job.
That's so true.
It's very cringe, but that's what I've heard somewhere, and I find it pretty. I mean, that's true, right?
Yeah.
It will increase your speed to get something done. So don't look at it as a threat. I think it will. And we need a separate session to talk about CS in AI. Absolutely different, but I don't think it's something that came right now, right? It's I feel AI has been there for a very long time. It's just that it's being more visual now. So yeah.
One of my guests actually said something very nice about AI, and it kind of aligns with what you're saying. Is that the productivity blocker part of it? When you want like someone who is going to master the art of AI, using AI, you're definitely going to appreciate the work life balance that you're going to achieve over a period of time, because it's going to save a lot of your time, not just at work during the focus, and after the work also you're going to have like some sort of
Yeah,
balance. So it's going to
absolutely.
be a great assistant.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm again a huge advocate of WLB, right? I feel uh because if you have a very stable afterlife, you'll have a very stable work life. Like you'll have a very productive work life. So I'm pretty sure it takes away a lot of those things that would keep you awake usually. So yeah, I agree.
I mean, the afterlife kind of made me think of something else, because I work in the graveyard shift.
After work life. That's very, yeah. I should have the work life. You just make this tone darker. So no, I mean after work life. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I work in the graveyard shift, and then afterlife is like, yeah, I know, I feel you.
Yeah, graveyard shifts. Good relationship. By the way, the best time to work is after 10 p.m. Trust me. I don't suggest this to anybody. Please don't listen to me. Please don't follow me. I love working after 10 p.m. because it's quiet.
Same.
it's and where your thoughts kind of are at, you know, peak. You can actually process faster.
So true. So, one last question I have for you, Harsh, and I'm sorry I'm taking a lot of your time. Um, what would you advise to folks who would want to take up CS as their career? What would be your, like, these are the 3, 5 things that you need to like keep in mind?
Just be empathetic to your customers. Number one. Number two, um, understand what does the technology you service does, right? Um, and understand the industry in general. Number three, learn to read the noise about the pain. Uh, it's essentially understanding where do you stand in the larger scheme, customer and your company, right? So you need to learn to listen to the noise about the pain. Um, and that's it. I think uh, CS revolves around customer empathy. So if you understand your customers better, you will excel in this role pretty fast. Rest everything is on the go metrics and numbers and everything. You learn over the go. But empathy is something that you will have to teach yourself. Um, and customer empathy is super important. Like I said in the beginning of the podcast, and it's a good note to end as well, right? Customer success is not just another job role, it's a philosophy. And you need to take it to your day-to-day life. So yeah.
So we learned a lot from this session, at least me, because most of the conversations always revolved around data, numbers, certain things like that. But here, there's a balance that I saw in our conversation today, that you talked about purpose, you talked about value, you talked about empathy, and you also talked about the associated, data points that we need to keep in mind. So I think it was a fine balance between all of those, and it is a very fruitful conversation, Harsh. And I learned so much because, like I said in the beginning, a skill is something that you can acquire at any point of time. But from the experience that you gathered over these years, what I learned is from this conversation that how much patience is like the most important part of it. Like you said, empathy, all these cannot be taught. You have to inculcate as a human being. It's not just customer success in general. Empathy is something that we need to acquire as a person. So thank you so much for taking out more than 1 hour today, and sharing all your experiences. If you allow me, like, I would keep talking to you. There's so much that I can learn, but I would not do that to you. But definitely, when we catch up in person, I would definitely ask all those questions when we meet. So thank you so much for being here.
No, my pleasure, and it has been incredibly fun talking. I hope I'm able to share a little bit of whatever I know, and learn as well. I would love to learn from you, like I said, in some other setting as well, right? So, thank you for having me, and yeah, good luck with all the other episodes. Looking forward to them. I do listen to all of them, so uh, I'll stay tuned.
Thank you. Thank you so much. See you.